been led by the unqualified, have been doing the unbelievable for so long with so little. We now attempt to do the impossible with nothing. We're going to talk about where we're at. We're on a roll, folks, and now it's put up or shut up time. So with that, I just want to tell you, this is going to be an exciting show, and they're going to let you know, giggle, what they're getting ready to do. I'm RJ Hampton, so you don't have to be. So let's get on with it. This is Mission Possible TV, and we're here with the Alternative Pain Management Club. Mike Ruggles, come on into this conversation.
All right. Basically, what's going on right now is Roger's being held without bail. Originally, they said that he was a menace to the community, which was ridiculous. And then later, they said he was a flight risk, which is also ridiculous because this is his home and this is where he would run to, not away from. Anyway, they're currently holding Roger because they're charging him with more than one Controlled Substance Act violation. And in the Controlled Substance Act, if you commit more than one Class A felony charge, they can call you a menace and hold you without bail. And so that's what they've been doing to him for over 3 years. We know that just recently they had that guy that had the 3 girls he'd kidnapped and had them have children by him and everything. He's on bail. He gets $8 million bail. Jerry Sardusky, the guy that was sexually assaulting all these youngins for over 20 years, he got bail. Because that's due process. Everybody in America, that's called due process. So that means everybody gets it, even the most heinous. Because in America, it comes with the assumption of innocent to proven guilty.
Exactly.
And they're denying Roger that, but you can't do that. It says right in the Constitution, no can do. And so one of the things you can do, constitutionally provided, is the writ of habeas corpus. And so what it does is it directs the warden to produce evidence to the judge to the fact that they have a right to keep Roger. And we're going to file this writ of habeas corpus ex officio with the county. And what that means is because there's no federal building here on the Big Island, although we seem to be under a lot of federal control, they technically don't have a federal office here. And so we're going to file it through the county, and they call that ex officio. So for $10, they will preserve the time that we want to file this. They got a little clock down there, and they go, stamp.
Betsy did.
She put this all together, and I'm quite proud of her.
But really, I mean, once we found the form, it was all just inputting the work that, you know, Mike Aiello and Linda and Nancy had already been
Been a lot of work put into it, actually. You know, but normally we're messing with the county, like the lowest law priority. Medical marijuana is the state, but this one here is the writ of habeas corpus. This is federal law. This comes from the Magna Carta, and we're filing this with Leslie Ann Kobayashi, a federal judge, who, in my opinion, is going to be the next Supreme Court justice. And so this really is big stuff. And I'm really proud of the team. We're actually coming together, and this is democracy in action. It's like, if you guys want freedom, you got to fight for it. And the way we fight for it is coming together in the community like this. We think globally, but we act locally.
So I think this one.
This one?
I can run out to my closet for the judgment. I'll go get them.
All right, sorry we're down here so late. I tried to get down here earlier, but we're filing this ex officio. What it is it's a writ of habeas corpus for Roger Christie.
Appreciate you.
And we'd like to file it with you guys, and then we're going to mail it over to the federal court in Honolulu.
Let me double check. Hold on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who am I speaking with?
I'm Mike Ruggles.
Hi, Mike. You are?
I'm Brittany Neal.
So, this is fine in the format it is, except that this is not the federal United States
And you
court.
don't have one here, so what we've been doing is having you guys file it ex officio, and that preserves the time, and then we go ahead and mail it.
Were they accepting it because there was a, deputy court administrator who made a phone call to them, and the instruction was to come out and let you know to mail it to them.
Okay, well, we were going to, but we were also going to, like I say, try to preserve the time and file it with you guys today. But that's where we were going next, is to the post office.
Okay. So if there's any questions, then it will come back to either Ulu or Cheryl.
And I can tell you this, if I hadn't found cannabis, I was ready to go to the Vietnam War. I wanted to go kill a commie for mommy. I was dying to kill the yellow man because they had me totally brainwashed back then. But when I found cannabis, I'm like, wait a minute, why are we going over to their country and shooting them? And they're like, well, it's to stem the flow of communism. And I'm like, well, what's the matter with communism? And they're like, oh, those communists, they just give people stuff. And I'm thinking, man, that's not a very good reason to kill people. Because they just give people stuff? Anyway, I ended up running and hiding from the Vietnam War because of cannabis. So cannabis actually saved my life. I could have been over there, I could have got killed. And if I hadn't got killed, you know, what's going on with the wars right now is that people come back hopelessly traumatized. Like, right now, the statistics for our troops in Iraq is that they're more apt to die of suicide than they are of enemy fire. As you can see, we made it with minutes to spare. Camera today, and we're filing a writ of habeas corpus on TV to get Roger Christie out of jail. And we're using you guys to mail it, and we need a $5 money order, and then we need to send this to district court.
Filing fee, or what should we say?
This is filing fee, yep.
Free Roger Christie. This is a point in our life that we have to change, or nothing else will change.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get this writ filed for 2 years. Brittany finally made it for me. And it wasn't easy to make. But it's Magna Carta law from the year 1215, writ of habeas corpus. We actually have high hopes that this will do something favorable for Roger.
Great.
This is all right.
I think I have 5 cents.
Okay. All right, appreciate it. All right, yay, we got it on. Barely made it. What, like 2 minutes to spare? I'm trying to file that for years. We finally got it filed. I'm happy.
All right, you know what day it is and you do know what time it is, and we are back with the Alternative Pain Management Club for an update. You've seen in this video before that they filed the writ of habeas corpus, and now we're here to get an update on what happened after it got mailed and what's going on.
She turned down our writ of habeas corpus, not because we wrote it incorrectly, because Brittany did a great job, but because we never actually showed, we didn't prove that we were Roger's next friend. Because the writ of habeas corpus comes from the year 1215. And only your next friend, and you got to prove that. You got to have the guy that's actually behind bars say, hey, no, I know Mike, and he is my next friend. See, they didn't know if I was just a nut, which I am, but they didn't know I was a nut that knew Roger. What's going on right now, the prosecution has to prove they got a right to keep Roger. And she's already said that if they fail to prove it, she's going to let him go. And when she says something, she means it. She ain't just kidding. And so I think Roger's closest to freedom than he's ever been in the last 3 years. Right now, and that writ of habeas corpus certainly didn't hurt. But if she does for some reason rule against him, if the prosecution somehow gets their act together, which I doubt they'll be able to do, and they do prove they got a right to keep him, then that writ's back on. We filed that writ of habeas corpus. Anyway, we're feeling really good about Roger. We're hoping that we can get him out of jail, get him back on the streets, helping with this rampant meth problem. Right now we got a horrible meth problem, and we need to address it. And I believe the best way to do it is edibles, cannabis edibles. We got to get some nutrition back in these meth heads. We got to get some rest, because cannabis helps you rest. Good night's rest, some nutrition in these people. Next day they're making better decisions. And so basically the Pain Management Club wants to open a rehab center downtown, because we believe cannabis isn't just medicine for people who need it for pain.
In the 1940s,
Yeah,
that
it'll
it is
help.
good for drug addiction. And that's why they didn't want us to do the cannabis, because they want us addicted to drugs.
They do.
This is a big business.
It is, and most of the people I know addicted start with prescription medicine.
Exactly.
And then they move on to meth and heroin and all this other crap.
Well, this sounds like
They
good
start
news.
with prescription.
It sounds like good news with Roger. We're going to wrap it up. We wanted to give you an update, and so Mission Possible on the air. I'm RJ Hampton, so you don't have to be. I've been here with the Alternative Pain Management Club. Mike Ruggles is getting ready to open up a dispensary.
You guys have any IDs? Where's your IDs? IDs? No, that's not ID.
And yeah, they say they're here to do a compliance check. However, it's not the appropriate time to do a compliance check because medical marijuana certifications have already been issued, and legally NED can only conduct a compliance check prior to the issuance of the certificate, and it's only in the event that there's a question as to the individual's identity.
So what you're saying is they're here illegally without a warrant, they are trespassing, and they have no right to be here? Is that what you're saying?
My understanding.
You guys looking for your own personal use? DNLR is not supposed to be up here, it's not state lane.
We're assisting.
So no ID, you guys aren't giving any ID. Picture ID. He's following the laws, and there's no reason to harass. This is illegal, no warrant. The only time you guys are allowed to come up here is before you issue the cards. After you issue the cards, you have said that the permit is good and the application is good. Only time you're allowed to check on a property without a warrant is to check up on the application before it's awarded. Not allowed to come without a warrant.
Marijuana in my head, right to lay it in my bed, throwing up my dress. Have to eat the ganja too, little bit for me and you, relaxes my body, just a little bit, spiritual and physical, also psycho, let the season watch him grow. Multi-purpose plants you see, gather leaves and make some tea, don't forget the me. Marijuana, marijuana, marijuana. Therapeutic for innocent, use it to cope for pain and stress. Recommend medicine, you can buy it at a dispensary. Call your friend that's down the street. Don't forget about little me. Been kicked out of many jobs, even the military. Guess it just wasn't for me. Can't pity enough, you see. Don't keep on smoking weed. That's my creativity. Let the ganja come and just go through me. Throw away your pharmaceutical prescription. We can end the drug prohibition. Have no fear when you're planting the seed. We can feel when you harvest your tree. Have no fear when you're smoking the weed. Money, 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 one money, 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 one money, money, one money, 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 one money, 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 one money.
Let me tell you something. I was born to bring you back to your senses.
That's right.
And I'm putting it right before you that this war on this plant is irrational. And you must now, my community, face your biggest fear. And that is that you recognize that you've been controlled, that you've been bull-crapped all this time and lost a lot of your health and your wealth of your mind and your soul and your body listening to these people tell you that this plant
Rich people who hate you.
is evil.
Yeah, they act like they're helping, but in reality, they hate the normal people. They hate poor people.
They hate it.
They hate us. It's like the people that tell you that this plant is no good are the people that sell you tobacco, prescription, alcohol, and they not only sell you all these things that kill you, they despise you.
Through early morning fog I see the helicopter chasing me. They come to take away my weed. I realize and I can see the war on drugs is dangerous. It brings on many changes, yes. The war on drugs is hurting you and me. And we must stand defend the holy.
I'll get you 14 of those. Yeah, we're going to open up a club downtown. We figured out a federal law. We bounced it off of all our leaders. We went and saw Mitch Roth. You guys were there. We bounced it off him. He didn't like it, but that's all right. We're still going to do it. We're going to open up, and we're going to see those guys in court. You guys stay tuned because we're going to kick their ass in court with a federal regulation.
There you go.
If they dare bust us when we open.
There you go.
And we're going to get an injunction, and then everybody's going to profit from this. You know, to me, the argument boils down to what me and Damerville said. Damerville says, Mike, you know, if you follow your logic, then you could have a church of crack.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely.
Yes, if that's the way you want to open your consciousness in the
Nobody's
church.
making you walk in there, Rick.
No,
I'm not walking in there. You don't have to walk in there, but if people want to smoke crack and see God,
The Holy Church of Crack, it would be.
the logic of church means yes, you can do that.
Yes.
That's just the legal
They
logic
even
of church.
sanction Satanism.
Exactly.
I mean,
If
the
you
Army,
can draw a thing and
United
sit in
States
it, why
Army
not?
in the 1980s, about 87, when all them children in San Francisco come up, you know, and they were talking about abuse and everything, and there was this guy, Michael Latino. He was an Army intelligence, he was in a lot of things, and the Army said, we don't care. They can be in the Church of Satan. It's a religious cult. It's whatever they can be in it.
That's called faith.
That's faith.
Indians can do peyote, Catholics can do wine, other religions, they even got one where they stick a toad. They go into a sweat bath and they stick a toad on their chest. Have you guys seen that? I like that one myself. All the village leaders, when they have a big problem, they all go in the sweat lodge and stick this toad on their chest, and they just hallucinate, and then the next morning they somehow figure out the right thing to do.
So since they want to have this war, and they want to tell us that this plant is evil, I put it up against the tobacco, I put it up against alcohol, and I put it up against white sugar.
Our pills.
And then we'll talk about the damage and what our government is trying to save us from. And then I'm going to show you a couple of people that are going to speak on camera about their cannabis use and how it has saved them from bone cancer, from stage 4 liver cancer.
And the pill sellers hate that. I just had a friend of mine, in fact, I caregiver for her, Cara. She's got stage 4 skin cancer.
Yeah.
And so she, you know, her kids and everybody talked her into going over to California and going to Johns Hopkins. But the bad news was when she told them, hey, I've been using cannabis successfully because she has a very aggressive form of skin cancer, and yet she's been able to stave it off for over 5 years. Most people that get this skin cancer, they're usually gone in a couple of months. She's been going for 5 years. Anyway, she went over there, but they told her, no, don't use cannabis at all. She said, well, what about if I just eat it? They're like, no, we don't want you vaping it. We don't want you smoking it. We don't want you eating it. She said, but wait, there's a lot of studies that cannabis might help. And they're like, well, we're not about that. We believe in chemotherapy and all these pills and stuff. And what's interesting is that cancer is big business now, and if you get a pill that costs $1 in Europe for fighting cancer, and it's going to go to America, they mark it up 10 times.
Our government has tried to hijack us. They've hijacked us with NutraSweet. They've hijacked
yeah,
us
that's
with
horrible.
synthetic insulin. They've hijacked us with vaccinations. They've hijacked the very essence of who we are. They are laughing at
Putting
us.
fluoride in the water. Remember that when they said fluoride's good for your teeth?
They are
Actually, it was
laughing at us.
it was a mental thing, and it makes people more docile.
They are laughing.
But
You
they
say,
lied and said it was for your
who's
teeth.
laughing, RJ? That's another show. And with that, I want to say,
By Roger Christie, they hung him on a marijuana cross. He's over in a penitentiary. We can't bail him out at any cost. Judges release murderers and thieves. Roger's in jail for promoting the league. The solitary confinement, the minister of weed. Roger sent a message to us through Sister Share to ease the people's minds down, to show us that he cares. Roger said, please don't fret. Roger said, don't give up yet. Roger said, he couldn't read. He said his case will change the history. You know that's a bad law. They say, you know that's a bad law. They say, well, criminals are set free. Roger's locked in high security. You know that's a bad law. They say, you know that's a bad law. They say, you know that's a bad law. You know that's a bad law. You know that's a bad law. Now Roger said the battle will be won. Religious freedom for everyone. To make this the last marijuana trial. Roger's prepared to go the mile. You know that's a bad law. We say, you know that's a bad law. They say, you know that's a bad law. You know that's a bad law. You know that's a bad law. Prohibition creates opposition. Tables are about to turn. Pick up your courage, my people, and sing this freedom song. Pick up your courage, my people. Gather round this freedom song. Yes, my people, we know that it won't be long. We won't give up, we won't give up. Roger Christie, we won't give up. Don't give up, we won't give up. This has got to be the last marijuana trial in history. In history, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know that's a bad law, you know that's a bad law, you know that's a bad law. You know that's a bad law. You know that's a bad law.
this is Mission Possible, and this is a wrap.